In the land of Freya, darkness spreads its wings. A corruption so deep, it poisons everything. But in the shadows, a group of heroes arise. Bound by courage, they'll never compromise. Through treacherous valleys and mountains high, they fight for justice, never questioning why. Their hearts ablaze, united they stand against the forces of evil hand in hand. Oh, hear the legends of our sacrifice. In the face of darkness, we will rise with valor in our hearts. We'll take a stand, defend us on Freya, we'll save the land.
Evening, everybody. Matt Geary here for Geek Pride's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, The Legend of Our Sacrifice. With me tonight, we have Conrad as Arno Jerkel.
Hello, everybody.
We have Michael as Tharval Eldon.
Rupert.
We have no Brother Gadden tonight, sadly, but we do have a... what was his nickname? Dean?
Get it? No.
we have Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
May your days and nights be even, unless you're called Conrad.
We have Mark as Lance.
Evening.
And we have Vic as Saren Sanguine.
Hello, guest starring Crowley.
Right.
Well, I had a guest star briefly, but she ran away.
Okay. Okay, so there's been a little bit of activity since the last session. We've had a bit of downtime work, which I will talk through. But last you saw, the group had started doing some actions effectively to prepare for an ongoing siege. We had Barty, Brother Gadden, going off to try and find out how to deal with the anti-magic fields that were sort of disrupting their powers. We had Arno, Lance and Saren going off to sort of get supplies from the surrounding sort of fields. Tharval and Ceravel with Eldrith had taken themselves off down south to sort of try and see where the enemy was. And
found a friend.
Yes, that's right. They found a friend. They found a bad-mouthed ruffian called Simon Gant. I can't remember what rank I gave him. Can't remember what rank he was, but
It was low enough. I think it was like
corporal or
To
something.
be fair, he bounced enough times. He probably can't remember either.
Yeah. So he is. He's currently on his way back. So Tharval and Ceravel have basically talked to him, and they have decided to, send him back. In downtime, they basically went, right, we will help you find Guard Captain Girk, give him the letter that you have. You've got, broken legs, and, you've thrown yourself off a ballista. Eldrith will take you back. So they spent the day to sort of take him back, and then they've gone forward to sort of see what's going on. So he's gone back with Eldrith at the minute, so he will be back probably about day 4-ish. When they've done it, they carried on. Again, if you want to check this out, it's on the Discord, and they just in the text chat for the Toulouse D&D campaign chat. You will see that Tharval and Ceravel sort of came across a lot of tracks for like not an army, but you basically had a unit with sort of horses and some men, and there had been some like scouts and stuff moving forward, but they also noticed that there were other footprints ahead of them that seemed to be shadowing their movements. They've gone forward and come to sort of like a clearing. They would have taken themselves towards, and I'll move everybody down to, where are we? That is this. Are we in the right one? I think so. Zoom everybody out. Yes. So there's like, you'll see like a little tower. If I, they had made their way here. So we'll move Tharval's character down here. They've basically come down. I'll draw a little arrow, freehand arrow. So they've come down here, down there, gone to the crossroads, found Gant there. Gant and then has gone back home. They've then made their way towards this tower to try and get a view of what is going on. As they've sort of come to the sort of hilltop clearing, they've done a bit of searching. They've noticed that there's lots of rocks and it's a very uneven ground all the way up to this sort of kind of watchtower, and they've found like a button. A little speck of blood and a button on the ground. Tharval's gone to sort of like pick up the button, and as he's done, he's uncovered a body. As soon as he's done that, this hail of arrows has just sort of come through and hit some of them. Hit him and Saravel, done a bit of damage. They've then proceeded to John Wicket and kill basically 9 out of the 10 assailants. One of them was stunned. As they've gone up and they've realized that this guy was formerly a ranger from their village, from their town, and potentially one of the rangers from their father's company, who had been captured. If you know Tharval's history from back in the day, had been captured with Saravel and spent times in the sort of the black cells, Therambor's sort of little what's the word? Funhouse, effectively, and they'd turned, and basically now they'd been sent forward to deal with anybody who sort of could have forewarned of an invasion, and so they've basically said, "Tell us what's going on." This guy called, I can't remember what I called him.
Alien, was it?
It's something like that. It's in the chat, but yeah, it's just random. One of these guys, they've said, he said, right, you're gonna let me go. Saravel said, well, yeah, my brother will let you go, because Tharavel had his knife to his throat, and says, my brother will let you go, I promise. And he said, yes, I'll promise. They've gone up to the tower. He's basically shown them that there's this enormous invasion coming. Jorathrasta, which is where came at red scale. I'm not sure if I can push you onto this one, and it'll probably be a bit more clear. Jorathrasta, which is sort of down here, where Kiamat Red Scale and his minions have come from, is under siege itself. The dragon that was once sort of kind of soaring over it seems to be dead on the ground. And also, there is literally a sea of landing craft and enemy vessels making their way to the like the Whispering Shore and the coastline of what is the area of Balon. Saravel then has Tharavel's basically turned around to this ranger and said, you know, you're with us, or what is exactly did you say? Do you want to be on the beach?
You're either with us or with, well, I think it was basically you're either with us or with them.
Yep. And Saravel, who obviously has been a part of all the nastiness, and there's some stuff going on. Basically stabbed him, slit his throat. As the guy turned around with this shock and was saying, he said, I said my brother would let you go. I said nothing about me, and he spat at him and then Spartan kicked him off the wall of the tower, and then proceeded to sort of kind of break down. He's gone and picked up a spade. He's buried all the dead soldiers who had been defending this place. And then told Tharaval that his wife, who was Salden's sister, is pregnant with, and seeing one of the young soldiers dying sort of got to him, and seeing these former rangers betray the land and betray their fathers in memory, he'd had enough of it and stuff. He also the ranger had basically said that there was more than one of his units, and they had all literally been sent forward to deal with lookout posts and stuff, so they could attack unbeknownst to everybody. That's why you don't see any soldiers or anybody mustering forward. Obviously, the Bastion of the Morning Star is currently overrun with something you're unsure of, and you're not sure where Guard Captain Girk and his force are at this moment in time. Tharaval and Ceravel then have decided that they are going to make their way back to the sanctuary, the Temple of Devotion, and actually, I have to think if I can call it
Sanctuary of Devotion.
Yeah, aside from calling it the Temple of Devotion, but yeah, Sanctuary of Devotion, and they've just to say what's happening. This invasion force. They don't know where it's going. They don't know how it's been split up or anything. They just sort of, they've seen this and they're sort of kind of decided to make their way back. So by the time they get back, it's probably going to be about day 6 for them when they sort of return. In the meantime, when they were doing that, Saren and Lance have done some farming, some intimidation to sort of force these civilians to sort of get their asses
encouragement.
Yeah, to and then basically
motivational speaking.
Yeah, so they've got some more supplies to add to the supplies they have. That's 2 days. Then Lance has decided it's probably best that they take themselves off to some of the surrounding villages to warn them of sort of what's going to happen, try and get some supplies and stuff themselves, maybe recruit some more soldiers, or at least get people out of the area. Arno has taken himself off to find Brother Gadden and Barty. He's had a bit of a moment with Kiwi, and then he's just taken himself back to sort of see what's going on with those two. They in turn have been trying their best to find the Red Witches, and because they've established that the Red Witches have a sigil or a brooch or something with a rune in it that will match the runes that they found in the anti-magic fields. So the anti-magic fields have a rune that matches for one of the Red Witches, and they basically need to connect them together so they can alter it, and then hopefully not turn it off, but alter it so they can use their magic as well and beat them at their own game. Because at the minute the Red Witches can do it and they can't. They've done it for all 6. They've been successful with 1.
No, I thought it was 2.
Is it 2? You've just been successful with 2 of them. So you've got 2 runes. That's right. You were successful with 2, but only 1 you successfully altered, because you stealthed for 2 of them. And one of them you crit failed. So you crit failed, and so you were seeing, so you couldn't get in to sort of do anything, and one of them you weren't. So we can say that you've gone in and you've done what you needed to do to sort of alter it. Brother Gadden's sort of taken himself off to talk to sort of clerics and find if he can sort of train some of the monks to do some healing, get some. I think he wants to do some, buttressing of the walls and figure out some ways to sort of help defend the place when the time comes for the siege itself. And that is where we are. So, with that in mind,
we should order some coconut shells.
Who would like to go first? Cerevel, and obviously you guys have got a few days to catch up with, so probably best use, and then Tharavel and Cerevel can make their way back and have that chat. But you've got you're on day 3. You're all pretty much on day 3, so we need to go from there for you guys. Any volunteers? No? Am I choosing? Okay. We will go for Arno and obviously Bardi. We'll say that Arno, you've as you come in, you've seen Bardi come out of the one that he is not disarmed but altered to change its magical properties, which we will say is. Which one we will say is... I need to change things for everybody. Right, I'm here. Boop. We will say he has altered the one in the west. So this one here.
Cool. Does that have any effects locally in terms of magicness?
Yeah, okay, I'll say in that area, sort of in that sort of sector, the northwest sort of sector, sort of to like there, I guess, is, I don't know, there. Oh, just not undo that one. Undo.
It's a massacre.
It's a massacre.
They dragged the body how far?
Just in this whole north.
Yeah, well, see this one here.
South.
We'll do.
Quadrant.
So I'll do a square here, and it's sort of probably rectangle. We'll do that. So we'll say, I don't know, like there. Well, there's like that sort of sector, that sort of area there. You can.
Sick.
Do that, and then obviously the northern sectors where this one is, and that, you can make it up there. So that sort of
saying that area where we can use magic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can sort of do what you need to do magic wise in there. Obviously, it's up to you if you want to be brazen about it, so the red witches know what's happening, or if you want to keep it sort of stumm for now until you've altered everything. It's completely down to yourselves how you sort of want to do it. But yeah, so you've walked up, you've seen Bardi sort of coming out of this. It's like a temple, but it's like a fortified temple annex. There's one in the west and there's one in the east. He's sort of come out of that looking quite happy with himself. He's taking he's putting his hood up as he sort of walked out, but you've noticed him, and we can go from there.
Okay, so the conversation we had where I helped with noticing the tattoo on the Red Witch's neck, did that happen or no?
Let's throw the retcon that way.
Yeah, because that we'll say that is so. What we'll say what's happened is you've gone into You've gone in again to try and look at this one, and the Red Witch there has basically cottoned on to what you're doing. Well, she's not she knows you're up to something. She doesn't know exactly what you're doing. She's used what spell did I use? Yeah, detect thoughts to sort of understand what you're up to. So she knows you're interested in her tattoo, but she's not unsure why. So you've sort of backed off and decided, let's go for a drink with Arno, and she's gone, well, I can come with you as well if you wish, since you're being so nice to me.
Freaky.
Yeah, and you've kind of gone, no, it's okay. you stay here.
What happens when you bring bards along?
Yeah.
Things get weird.
There's a guy that tries to talk to a girl, and then when she talks back, just completely shits himself.
Yeah. There
Like,
we go.
What do I do? She's talking to me.
Just run away. Put up and run away.
Okay, so yeah.
Right. So I suggested that, and Barty, you still suggesting we seek a tavern outside the walls?
Well, you don't need to now, do you, with the well, I guess if you want the sort of you don't want to be you don't want any spying eyes talking to seeing what's going on.
Yeah, okay, we can still do that then.
Yes, let's find a tavern while we can. I hear the ale here is quite sour.
Okay, so there is there's in these little camps outside, there are sort of places you could probably drink that have been set up. There's a small little hamlet in the north there, where there is a sort of small ale house you can potentially go to.
Okay, let's do that then.
Okay.
Find a table in a dark corner and sit down. Are we assuming we've gone without Gadden?
Yeah, he's off. He's off trying to talk to. It's like another sort of cleric. He's talking to him about the fortifications and sort of trying to help with that, I think.
He's off gaddavanting.
He is gaddavanting, yes. He is gaddavanting.
See you later. Sorry.
Where's Nisil? Have we got him with us, or is he...
Yeah, I'd say Nisil's come with you.
You probably want to keep an eye on him.
Yeah. The Arno will... They'll sit down and look around, and Arno will see the sort of lit candle on the table, and he'll discreetly try and use prestidigitation to just snuff out the candle to see if the magic works.
Yep, it's fine. It works. The sort of the field only sort of reaches out in the borders of the thing, so you're out of its reach.
I guess this is the first time Barty's been out of the walls to witness that we can use magic, and he'll cotton on to the fact that Arno did that using.
Barty leans in and smiles. Can you not feel it? The tingling sensation from your head right down to your tip of your fingers.
I knew he should have washed his hands after he came out of that temple.
Magic is back also. Oh.
Yes, I can. Who's back with us? Me. What?
Huh? Hey? What are you talking about?
Michael had a moment.
Sorry, I heard something. Never mind. Arno will say, yes.
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 Grit.
Very well.
Yes. No.
Has Kibby become real life now?
Yeah, exactly.
Between you and me, magic has also been restored for us in the western section of the bastion.
Arno tilts his head and says, you're smarter than you look. And he smiles. He says, I jest. I'm glad to see that you have come to the same conclusions that I was coming to advise you on. It seems your progress has been quite fruitful in the last couple of days. What is it you know about the seals?
Yes. I've been working as quickly and as successfully as humanly possible. For sure. We do lack one talent, well, amongst others. We cannot sneak very well, especially without the aid of magic, and discovering more of the sigils from the Red Witches has been difficult, to say the least. I mean, we need help. And I say we, I mean me and Gadden. We need your help, Arno.
It's precisely what I was coming to ask. I
Fantastic.
was visited on my escapade with Lance and Saren, Kivy came to me. She is unable to penetrate the...
Came to, or came...
the magical protection in the temple. And she told me of what you clearly have learned. But this is not just something that prevents us and protects them. It is far more critical to our survival than perhaps everybody realizes. If we break and modify all the seals, Ivy can return in full power. She can be there to help us. What is going on? What happens in this aftermath? I know that you saw it. I've seen it as well. We know what Kiamat is capable of and what he likely will plan to do. The sooner we stifle their attempt at control, the better.
Yes. The dreams.
The dreams.
That's what they were.
The dreams.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry, carry on.
It's okay. Barty's going to pull a silver cage from under his cloak and say, we may have further assistance, although it is not ethical, to say the least.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. Completely forgot about him.
I wonder when that was going to come back in.
Remember Spymaster? Xanthol, or whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get my
the librarian that wasn't a librarian.
Yes.
Well,
we can interrogate him from beyond the grave if we wish, but we can't really ask him too much. He can't deceive us, but we have to make sure that the information we request is pertinent elsewhere. It may take liberties from beyond the grave. I was going to ask if there'd be any feint with this coming invasion, if a target was to be set out that looked like a good place to land, and then more forces would be delivered elsewhere. If we could get an edge, if we could anticipate some troop movements, what do you think? Or should we ask him more about what he was doing in the Bastion? There's so many questions, but so few opportunities.
I feel it might be late for that. We need to understand if there are still unanswered questions, as you say. This plant, he was not Kiamat's man. He was Therenbor's.
Yes.
We need to understand. I agree. We need to understand what hold Therenbor has within the temple. If we are just sitting in a potential base camp, we are already overrun.
The Red Witches trouble me. They are incredibly powerful, yet Kiamat is not the favoured lieutenant. I wonder if they're there on Fernbor's bidding more than Kiamat's intention. It would make sense why they'd be able to have such a firm grasp of the magical defences.
Surely not even he is that stupid. We saw these Red Witches in Jorathrasta. They are living with him in his stronghold.
Yes.
You believe to suggest that this is all part of Therenbor's plan?
It's a possibility. When Gaiden and I discovered the pocket, there was a small section of the castle that wasn't protected against magical wards about the anti-magic field, and we may have, broken through to it. When the Red Witches arrived, it was immediate. How did they have time to find the anti-magic field and tamper with it in such a way?
You're right. If Kiamat had no eyes of his own in there,
if somebody else laid the groundwork,
Therenbor's.
we can ask.
Who? Kiamat?
No. He's Spymaster.
Zavros the Whisperer.
Zavros. It's
And
just
you-
come to me right now. It was on the tip of my tongue. And then...
Is it a voice?
But Zavros, think about it. If the Zavros is a spymaster, the Red Witches are spies in Kiamat's keep. Zavros meddles with the anti-magic field and gets them to plant the idea in Kiamat's head of getting into the Bastion first, making himself vulnerable.
So the
And
question.
then, when Fermo is quite ready, the trap is set and closes around Kiamat, as well as everybody else.
So say we target our questioning around the Red Witches and Therenbor's intent. Say we discover the true intent. Do we then try and convince Amat of this?
Possibly. Well, I think what we do with the information, once it's confirmed, is probably a problem for future us. It's
Or we
it's
use
only
it
a hunch. It may
immediately
not be
to-
correct. We could ask Zavros if the Red Witches were under his or Fernbor's control or employ, and did he set up the tampering with the anti-magic fields? Even
I recall your spell is rather limiting. We have a certain number of questions we can ask.
6. I have 6 uses of his soul before it is released to whatever circle of hell it's condemned to. We do not have to just question it, but it seems the most pertinent.
What do you mean we don't have to just question it?
I can bend his will and experience to add to my own. I could pull the very essence of his soul from the cage and use it to rejuvenate myself. I could ask it questions. But I can only do these things 6 times. I think questioning is by far the greatest advantage over any other uses we have for this
I
rotten
agree.
life force.
Then let
Let's
us come
face
up.
it, he was a dick.
He was. And
It's,
now he's a headless one.
we've got no, I've got no qualms of abusing his eternal soul for our advantage.
Circumcised.
Careful, Barty. It's sounding like the power is going to your head. And he smiles.
I'm not
Certainly
going to
not
try
his
and have
head.
intercourse with him.
Whoa!
Not all magical
Whoa!
relationship
God.
works that
Oh
way.
my god!
Whoa!
Okay.
I'm glad we see eye to eye, Arno. I think on this matter, I think we're probably the closest aligned. I don't think the others have the stomach for it.
I was just about to say, perhaps we keep this between us.
Yes.
I'm not sure how even Brother Gaddon would feel about the use of necromancy.
No, I don't think he'd like it.
Then let us think hard about these 6 questions. Or at least half of them.
Are the questions sort of yes/no questions, or are they?
Give
No,
like
they
a
can be-
sentence or 2 answers, but he does have to be honest.
Okay.
They can be answered with yes, no, but if they're If
Yeah.
yes,
If we
no
ask
is not
the
appropriate.
closed question, you could totally take advantage of that.
Okay.
You've seen the D&D movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. No.
I've just remembered one more use, Arno. We
Oh.
can exploit his relationships. If there was somebody that he knew in life, like Ferenbor, for example, we can scry on them. We set up a sensor near to them, invisible, and we can hear them and see them. The problem is, if they have true sight or some other way of seeing what should else be invisible, they can see the sensor and they'll see it as him standing there in torment and agony. It would give the game away. Maybe we use that as a last resort.
Well, they might like it.
Does it necessarily matter?
If we're found out?
No, yes, by Therenbor. He would not know who is manipulating the soul. Just
No.
with the soul.
But at the moment, does he even know he's dead? He may be awaiting for crucial intelligence before he makes his move.
Is there any way we could pose as the spy master and send a message back to him through this use of power?
Well, we could ask if there is a code or a means of communication with Therenbor. That's an excellent idea. We could use that as one of our questions. But I was meaning more if he sees his friend's soul in anguish spying on him. That would...
This is certainly something we must think of. In
Yes.
life, he did not allude to the fact that there were any more in Therenbor's employ in the keep. However, you say in death he cannot lie. We must ask him this again.
He said he'd been there for a while. He'd been busy.
Then
It
we
was
find
probably
out
by his
what
hand
his job
that
was.
whatever Nysel was called was Nysel. Got kidnapped.
Gregor.
Was it?
Gregor.
Gregor.
Yeah.
There we go. I knew it was
Gregor.
a G. Not Jared. Godfrey.
Godfrey.
Gregor. Yes.
Manfred!
Let's think
Then-
on it.
Then back to the seals. You say you have tampered with one.
I have overcome one, yes.
Yeah. So you've got two, and you've managed to sort of deal with one.
I have bent it to my will. We could not get access to the second tower, though. It was under guard by some Dragonborn. And they saw me sneaking. It was definitely... He must be able to see into the very ethereal plane itself. It's the only way, it's the only explanation. But regardless of what sorcery he used, he discovered me, and I felt it best to walk on.
Well,
Hashtag
stealth
anti-shoelaces.
and deception are somewhat of a speciality of mine.
I could
Perhaps I can aid in some way.
I could teach you what to do if you can slip by, or if you cause a distraction. I could go in and do it, but
I'm,
You
certain-
can't hide
I
in
know
his
the
ring, can you?
sigil.
I'm certainly more light-footed than Gadden and yourself, and without the brothers,
Yes.
my understanding of the arcane probably will aid. Teach me what to do, and I shall help.
Excellent. And I'll start drawing out the sigil for Arno, like a piece of parchment.
Okay.
And then, now that I've identified two, would that help me in identifying others? Or help us if Arno was to go stealthing around trying to spot view? Or we just have to keep doing checks? And
You'd have to give me, because they're not all going to be the same. They're sort of kind of woven into different sort of things.
Right, so it's not like a language.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
You're like, right, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, you're going to have to do. So you'll need to do. You need to do a perception check to see if you can see where, if you notice something, and then do your. I think we said Arcana. You're allowed to do Arcana
Yeah.
to sort of
Yeah.
check for magic and stuff. So you can basically, it's seeing where the thing is, noticing, oh, that's the thing, and then the next one's to understand it and kind of go, oh, I understand what that is. So that's basically got those two
Yeah.
roles to sort of do to sort of get it. So find it and then understand it, basically.
So Arno says, so are you aware of how many sigils there are?
Yes, there are 6. 1 for each tower, 1 for each beacon of anti-magic. I call it anti-magicness.
Well, let us go back to our first predicament. Surely the spy master knew where these sigils were.
If he was working alongside the Red Witches, we need to ask him about.
But these anti-magic defenses, they are the High Paladins now. They have just been modified.
Yes.
Then if he was here for some time, he would have been a pretty shit spy if he didn't know all about that.
No, Arno. The way that the Red Witches can cast spells is because they've tampered, or somebody tampered with the Paladin's own defenses. They've added their sigil to it. It's like a signature, a magical signature. That means they are no longer blacklisted from the use of sorcery, which is how I overcame it. I've messed with it again.
What if we were to lure one of these Red Witches into the zone you have tampered with without their knowing? Then when they try to use magic against us, it will be completely ineffective, and we have the control. Which one of us has?
I fear we may give the game away.
And they can still use your magic. It's just you've altered it so you can use it as well.
Oh, they can still use it. It's not like we've flipped the table.
I thought we blocked.
You're not blocking them. You're basically just adding yours. So it's like you said, it's like whitelisting. You're whitelisting your sort of your magical powers.
We opened a firewall port.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whitelisting.
That was misunderstanding from me. I thought by tampering with it, we stopped them and allowed us, and the second one, which we.
I'm happy for you.
What happened with the second one then?
No,
We've got the key for the second one. We've not been able to use it.
Okay, so we've just found a sigil. Okay.
Yeah.
We found the sigil, but when I tried to get into the tower,
if it's something you want to do, if you want to stop them, then I'm sure you can try that. But obviously, if they suddenly can't use their magic, then you're going to start asking questions.
If we can work out how to do it, and me, you, Gadden, the Paladin, and how many more? 2 more of his clerics all did it at the same time, then it'd be useless to stop us. We may have the drop on them, but we'd have to be well coordinated. If we did it one by one, they would get on. They'd be wise to it, and we'll start to kill everybody. They're fearsome in numbers.
Do you think that Kiamat and the Red Witches would still question the movements of the High Paladin? Surely they could not prevent him from going anywhere.
No, but if they go around turning them off one by one, they'll surely notice before we can get to the 5th or 6th.
Okay. Tell me where the sigil is then. In the tower.
Yes, I think we arbitrarily pick a tower.
Yeah. So you're the only one that you've, the northern tower is the one where the Barty's tried to flirt with the Red Witch. The other ones, it's wherever, you want them to be and stuff. It's just going to be, obviously there. You can just roll some dice for each one. So, you're on day 2, you're on day 3. It took you, obviously you can't keep on trying the same thing over and over again if you fail. So you can go around and try them all. If you make any failures, it's going to cost you another day, and then to try and do it again and stuff. So we can do it that way.
But we need to find the sigils first. Right?
Yeah. So you've got to do your So you're going to have to do perception to find it, Arcana to understand it, and then stealth to get through to do the thing.
So the sigils will be like they're not invisible.
No, they'll be like tattoos or a bracelet or something embroidered on their dress, their cloak or something like that.
Oh, right, okay. So they're on the Red Witch. Sorry, I thought those were the keys, but the actual sigils that that are blocking the magic. I'm imagining some like
Yeah.
runes sort of scribed down on the floor of the wall.
No,
or
it's right. So,
something.
so each one of these anti-magic fields has a rune, has a rune that sort of creates the anti-magic field. Within that, there's
anti-magic fields are obvious. Like we know where those are.
Yeah, but within when he's investigated those, he's noticed that there's an additional sort of runic symbol attached to it, like connected to it, which has altered its purpose, and so that sigil is within, is unique to each of the Red Witches. So they've obviously done that to alter it and stuff. So he needs to find that, and then he can understand how it works, and then do the same with himself.
Okay.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah.
All right. So Anna will then say, "I may be deceptive and sneaky, but let's just say I've been caught unawares before. Perhaps if it is these signs we look for, we must wait until the brothers return and get them to help. It'll be far more effective. For now, I can sneak into the North Tower and modify the sigil. But
That will work.
until then, perhaps we focus on Zavros until the brothers return."
Shall we ask him a question?
Now, do you have to ask all 6 questions in one go?
No. If anything, it's best to ration them out.
Oh, then what on earth are we waiting for? We know what the first question is.
Yes.
Okay.
The Red Witch is working
the
for
Red
you
Witches?
and Ferimbor.
Correct.
Yes.
I thought we were on the same page.
Yeah, so I wasn't going to ask him anything weird like what's his kink.
All right. How forthcoming are you with your words under pressure, Barty? You're not going to accidentally mince them up, are you?
Well, there's only one way to find out. It's my cage.
Well, I could always ask the question. Or does it have to be you?
I believe it may have to be me. I am, after all, the master of the cage and therefore his soul.
Of course.
So,
Should we perhaps write the question down? So that you could read it on paper?
Just do a rough draft first, then write it out neatly.
Use your big
by
words.
all means, Arno, by all means. I can see you are quite anxious. If it will make you feel better, then yes, write it down.
No, I trust you wholeheartedly. Am I allowed to watch?
You like to watch.
In this case, yes. And then he looks around. Is there anyone else in this sort of tavern tent?
You're like in a building. Yeah. For ease, we'll say it's pretty dead. It's early doors, so there's not a lot of people in there.
Okay.
If we want ultimate secrecy, we could always
climb in your
ask
ring.
this from within my ring.
Squeeze it into his ring.
Yes. That would actually make a lot of sense. I don't know if we're still being spied on.
He does like having things put in his ring.
Arno just puts his hand on your hand, and you sort of apparate and appear again inside his secret chamber.
Wow, chicka, wow, wow. Candles, there's red velvet everywhere.
Arno just goes, I miss this place.
Oh.
Go on then. Get it
Smells of
out.
patchouli. You've made changes.
Yes,
and he'll put the cage down, like rub his hands together, and it's like, oh, it's good to be back. And the cage starts to like glow a little bit, and Barty's eyes sort of white over a little bit, and he just asks the question. He looks, Zavros, I ask of you.
Sorry. I need to stop an apology. Right, sorry. Carry on.
Do the Red Witches answer to you and Ferrenbor? The ones in the Bastion.
Can you alter?
That are
Can you alter?
That are accompanying Kiamat.
I don't know.
Currently.
Can you alt after you said?
I was pausing. I was merely pausing for breath.
I don't know. Can you?
I am the master of the soul. And
Right.
I may dramatic pauses.
Right. You've asked a question, and there's been a long enough pause. And your question was, are you? Your specific answer is, are the master of? Or sorry, are the Red Witches? So the question was, you and Therenbor are the masters of the Red Witches?
So no. That is not even close. So the question was, do the Red Witches answer to you?
just goes, we should have written it down.
Right, I wanted to be honest here. I don't want to watch it back. What did you say before you carried on with your little bit of it? What did you say?
Do the Red Witches answer to you and Therenbor? The ones that are in the Bastion?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on. Don't you be trying to...
No. He's going to say... No.
Right. Geary, I'm going to put this... I'm going to reframe this now.
Okay.
Because I know you're having fun, and I hate to spoil your fun. But, as a wizard, I've been sat here for about 3 weeks... doing fuck all but talk to people badly. I need this. Barty needs this.
Oh, fine. All right. Fine.
Don't make me use another question.
This is a D&D movie all over again.
Don't make him use his words.
Okay, I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide this time.
I'm an idiot, but Barty's got an intelligence of 20.
Okay, right. I will let you have it since you've entreated so well. All right. So what's the full What's the full question that you want to ask?
Oh, you get a mulligan. You get a mulligan. Right, write this down before you say it.
Write it down.
No, you just say it. This is it, right? So this is the question. If you fuck this question up, right? So the question is:
are the Red Witches that accompany Kiamat in the Bastion truly answering to Ferrenbor and yourself? Don't do that, Conrad. Don't do that.
So if there's if the question's ambiguous, can he just say yes or no to it and stuff?
No, it says you've got to.
So he can be telling the truth.
Give the player exactly what they want to hear.
He's going to say no.
Arno lets out a groan. Barty, you said and.
Yeah.
Why, oh why, did you not say or?
Is this what it's coming to? Fucking syntax.
Oh, you have a part, and I give you a mulligan to rethink it and stuff, and you said that. So it's he's saying no. I give it to you. To reword the question as you wished. I bowed to your entreaty, and I gave it to you, and you carried, and you said the same thing again. His answer is no.
Arno whips out a quill and a piece of parchment from the table nearby. He says, the Zavros is not still listening, is he?
No, Arno. Zavros can only speak to me, as I am the master of the soul. We could be the brotherhood of the soul. A new order.
Red Witches that accompany Kiamat, working for or under Therenbor. And
That
he
is
kind of goes
exactly
like,
the question I just asked.
No,
but it is not, is it, Barty? It's
Yes,
not.
yes, it is.
you're
He
misapplying
said-
logic.
He said no.
He said no,
He said
which
no
we
when I
could
asked that question
interpret
moments ago.
to mean that they were not working for Therembor and Zavros. Why would they be working for Zavros? Of
Because
course
he's
you
a
would answer
spy
no.
master. He
Listen,
put the sigils in the castle.
I know we only have 5 questions left, but for the love of the gods, ask it again. Only about Therembor. Only then do we have our true answer.
I'm sorry, Lecky man. I did give you a full chance on it. If you had a boss and you said, do you work for, I don't know, there's an example of do you work for somebody on the same level? I mean, you wouldn't though, would you? You work for your
One
boss. You work for your boss,
One
and
day, Gary.
Then
There will be a time.
Then Barty,
I have-
let us take a different swing at this. Instead of asking it as a closed question, let us assume that they are in Therembor's employ. Why do we not ask instead, what are the Red Witches accompanying Kiamat? What is their purpose and their place in the grand scheme?
Because what if their purpose aligns with Ferenbor's? It doesn't tell us.
He would have to answer, and then we would at least know that they are in his employ, even if we don't get any further detail. But if we're asking something more specific, perhaps a nugget of information will slip out.
in my defense, I'm very forgiving with you guys. I don't tend to sort of kind of go no ever.
All right, DM, you can shut up now. Anna will say, I can always keep you here for 8 hours until you ask the damn question. And he smiles.
Are you threatening to throw down magically?
Yes! Magic bar
Anna holds his hands up to your. the height
I've
of
got
your
to
hip.
admit, I'm feeling a little blue balls right now.
Magic bar
Anna,
fight!
I'm spoiling for
Anna-
release.
Arno sets the quill down and reaches behind the table, and he pulls out a bottle with some red liquid in it, and grabs a couple of glasses and pours out some very fine wine. And he says, "Here, my friend, calm your nerves.
That is
Everybody
much
makes
more like
mistakes.
it.
Let's just pretend this didn't happen. No one has to know. And let's treat this like your spell only allows the asking of 5 questions. How about that?"
What didn't happen? I know. And Barty waves his hand, and a box of cigars appears alongside the wine on the table. I could live with that.
Very well.
Let's go over this question one more time
He toasts.
for the benefit of any all-seeing onlookers. Let's go slowly.
benevolent, merciful onlookers. Right.
Could have been a contender.
So, let us assume they are in his employ. Let us ask what their purpose is. But we need to be specific about the Red Witches in Therembor's employ accompanying Kiamat.
My hesitancy is it doesn't address the anti-magic fields. If we know Zavros did something about them, he may be able to give up some sigils.
But that is for one of the other 5 questions, no?
So what is the purpose of the Red Witches in the Bastion?
No. He takes a big shit from his drink.
Why is the purpose?
No, you need to specifically say the Red Witches under Therenbor's employ that currently accompany Kiamat.
What is their purpose?
In the grand scheme of...
Okay.
You can do this, my friend. You can do this.
Okay, so before you say it to yourself and what you're going to say, and then how you're going to word it. I won't take
say it again wrongly.
No, type it in Word or something to sort of say how you're going to say it.
Okay.
So good. Oh, living it out in real life.
D&D movie part 2.
Ugh.
Let me get back over here. Would
Imagine if we
objective not
put-
be a better word?
6 questions.
What is the
Objective.
aim? What is the goal? What is the objective? What do we feel?
What is the objective? Or what do the Red Witches under Therenbor's employ in Kiamat's
Accompanying Kiamat in the Bastion
accompanying
of the Morning
Kiamat
in the grand scheme of
aim to accomplish, perhaps?
What is your favorite color?
Or do we instead go for the tact of asking whether ultimately they will turn on Kiamat?
I feel like we'll get done for a double question.
What's the question? Will they turn on Will the Red Witches turn on Kiamat?
And will they turn on Kiamat?
No, I mean instead, yeah. So what do the Red Witches under Therenbor's employ accompanying Kiamat either aim to achieve, or will the Red Witches in Therenbor's employ accompanying Kiamat eventually turn on him?
That's 2 questions.
Depose him? No?
Yes. You're asking 2 separate
How
things.
is that 2 questions? No, I said to let you, like, is it do we ask the first one or the second one?
I think we asked the first one because then we're definitive, because otherwise what we're getting of the second one is his supposition of does he believe they'll, and he'll be like, well, yeah, because he's a dick.
Okay, fine.
So what are the Red Witches under Therenbor's employ and accompanying Kiamat in the Bastion of the Morning Star aiming to achieve?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what you're saying?
Wait,
go
is
again.
it? No, it's not the Bastion of the Morning Star. It's not the Bastion of the Morning Star. Abort!
What is it?
Abort! Abort!
Sanctuary.
We have been
Sanctuary of
identified!
devotion.
It's a sanctuary of devotion.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
Not for the DM.
I completely didn't miss that anyway, so I wouldn't. It wouldn't
Oh, okay.
I completely missed it.
Edit.
Edit.
What are the Red Witches under Therenbor's employ and accompanying Kiamat in the Sanctuary of Devotion aiming to achieve?
Okay. So with that, it's he can give you
A couple of sentences.
couple of sentences. Okay. So what are they achieving? Okay. So
You need to do a spectral voice, Matt.
yeah. I'm just trying to think what exactly he's going to say. Okay, so
It's got to answer truthfully and to the best of its ability.
yeah. So you're gonna get a proper answer. I'm just sort of trying to think what's the best information to give you from that. So okay, yeah, all right. So you sort of have your cage there, and you're sort of nervously looking at Arno as you sort of say it, making sure you get the sort of you get it worded properly, and you sort of say it in this the spectral head sort of appears, and he has a bit of a smile on his face, and then you ask him the question, he's like, you can see that smile sort of reduces to a sort of spiteful frown, and he says, they are there to enthrall Red Scale until the time has come.
Arno's hopeful look turns very plain. He goes a bit pale, and he says to Barty, "It is as we feared. Now, how do we convince?" What do you mean, no?
It is not how we feared. It is how we correctly deduced.
Arno actually laughed.
We now have advantage over Kiamat for the first time that I've known.
And how the hell can we convince him of this?
Convince the High Paladin?
No, Kiamat. Surely he is key to this. If he learns and believes us of this, how do you think he will react? We need to work him over to our side of the truth. As little as I care to work alongside him. The dice have been cast already. He may be the key to surviving this.
Yes.
Do we have anything else that we could ask straight away? Perhaps about the sigils and their locations?
We could ask if he set the sigils, but it's almost a waste of a question. We could just ask him to identify them.
It matters not, I fear.
The sigils?
No, the answer to that question. The matter of fact is the sigils are there, nonetheless, whether he set them or no.
Yes, but if he set them, we can request them. And then that's half the problem solved.
Very well. Shall we attempt to ask him to provide the sigils for the anti-magic fields in the Sanctuary of Devotion?
Yes.
Is that the question?
Then let us go. Question 2 of 5.
3 of 5. Oh, it's 2 of 5, yeah. Forgot. It's fine. I forgot.
we were talking to Kiamat later, and it's like, I trapped a soul, and we were allowed to ask it one question. It's a very powerful magic.
Right. So we'll ask him to provide the sigils.
Used to
yeah.
Overcome. Sanctuaries.
Anti-magic defense.
Anti-magic defenses. So, off the record, we're asking him to provide the sigils used to allow the Red Witches to overcome the Sanctuary's anti-magic defenses.
Yeah. Direct and specific. I like it.
Cool.
Okay. Yep. Zavros. We request more from you.
Dormammu, I have come with a question.
Provide the sigils used to allow the Red Witches to overcome the Sanctuary's anti-magic defenses.
He again, the sort of the spectral head appears and starts to sort of thrash and sort of say no, and as he sort of tries to he tries to sort of resist it, he starts speaking in a sort of in a different tongue, and as he does so, these shapes start showing themselves on the ground in front of you. So they sort of kind of you see these different sort of runic shapes. All the rest of the five, sorry, the six that you, sorry, the four that you don't have appear in front of you.
Arno scrambles to the quill and the parchment and starts sort of taking them down quickly.
There you go. You feel better
Buddy.
now.
I feel loads better.
Buddy,
Indication.
Buddy, I can't believe that worked. Yet we can tell nobody of this celebration of intellect.
We totally worked it out, and it feels amazing.
This is amazeballs.
Cheers, my friend. He lifts the glass and
Cheers.
finishes off the fine red wine.
Okay.
That's an excellent vintage.
All right. So
Bloody hell, that was successful.
So you've done that. So we can speed things. So we can speed things along, so other people can do stuff. Do you want to roll? Are we rolling for you now just to enter these places and do the thing? So
we can go to someone else first.
We might as well just get it over and done with, so we can sort of. So roll me.
Stealth.
5 stealths.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave that all to you, Arno, because I think yours will be better.
I get
Rolling
advantage with my cloak, but that wouldn't work, would it?
Not in these places, no. Because obviously, yeah, magic.
Okay, 1.
Yeah,
20.
so that's 1 success. 2.
16.
Yeah, fine. I'll roll in the 16, just a straight roll.
Oh, hang on.
27.
14. No, wait.
This is 27.
Yeah, 27. And then 2 more, yeah?
Yep, 13. Yep, that's fine. So
30.
you're fine.
And last one. Come on, don't let me down. Another 16.
All right, roll that 16 again. All right, so the first 16, you're fine. Yeah, all right, for sake of it, yeah, fine. Okay, you sort of manage to, the last one sort of a bit hairy, sort of somebody hears us, so what's that sound? And then you throw a stone. And
For the peace of the kingdom.
For the peace of the kingdom.
Is it a Dragonborn that says it?
Yes.
I imagine maybe I would have had Barty kind of half distracting outside that maybe would have given me stuff.
I reckon the 16 was him impulsively pinching their ass as he went past.
Yeah.
What happened?
You know, they're like... they never can help themselves, can they?
All right, cool. So I've managed to stealth in, and
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give that realistically stealthing in and changing runes, so a day. You're gonna have a full day in that, sort of doing that that thing. So you go in and you alter all 6 of the things. You now have full. Your magic is, you just sort of feel as sort of that sort of oppressive sort of field sort of dissipates, You just feel it sort of kind of flowing in like a calm breeze.
We're back, baby.
Does perhaps Kivy appear when that happens with a smile or something?
Yeah, so you're like in the last one, you sort of do it, and she sort of kind of just appears with her elbow over one of the pillars, looking down on you, and she says, "Good work, my love." And she has a smile, and she takes a deep breath, and she says, "Well, there's much work to be done."
What's next?
So what do you want to do though? So what sort of? Well, we'll leave it there. So you've got the anti-magic field. It's not down. It's just it's attuned.
You're just able to operate within it.
Yeah, you're now attuned to it. Okay, right. Okay, so Lance.
I've been.
Yeah, like so, Lance. Now, Saren, are you going with Lance to do? Are you going to go with him?
Do we want me to go with him because I'm the person with the highest stealth?
But you've also got a higher intimidate than me.
This is true.
Which means, in theory, if we're both being intimidating, you can get you've got intimidate that's quite high, and you've got me for advantage.
That's true. Okay, yeah, I'll go with you. I'll go with Lance.
Okay, so where are you going first? You can either sort of move your way out to, well, you can. Well, I suppose the sort of camps outside are probably going to be your last port of call and stuff because they'll be the last moment. So which sort of whereabouts?
I'm thinking Stonebury, Lightview, Quickfield, Summerfield, then Pilgrim's Rest to do a full circuit.
So Summerfield, Quickfield.
So start at Stonebury.
Yeah.
Then go up. Then go up to Lightview. Then decide from there if you want to go out to Whitewood or turn back into Quickfield.
Okay, so that's going to be
depending on the time.
So you're going to be in horses, so it's going to take you half a day to get to Stonebury. Then you are. What are you going to do when you're there? Are you basically? Are you going to bring? So
we're going to.
Sorry, Carol.
So the idea is when we get to the town, we'll try and talk to the mayor or whoever's in charge, and explain the problem, and try to persuade them to A, get out of trouble, and B, if they can spare some guards and some supplies to send them to the sanctuary.
Okay. Are you asking them to just evacuate somewhere else or come with you to the sanctuary?
Evacuate. I would say evacuate because the more mouths in there, the more that we're going to be burning through supplies.
Okay.
Yeah,
so we want
totally
useful people, guards, but we don't want extra people. We want them to have. We've given them time to get out of dodge.
Okay. Sort of to quicken it up and not sort of put any voices on it. I just say so. The mayor basically says to you, so you want us to where should we go if the enemy
inland?
So inland, where to?
I would suggest heading towards the Risk of the mountain range, and trying to getting up to Risk the Keep, perhaps. But we're expecting the sanctuary to be besieged, so away from the sanctuary, and I would suggest getting away from the shore because that's taking you directly towards the corruption.
Okay.
So if you looked at heading towards the plain of Aberath.
Okay, so yeah, whereabouts they go and stuff. They'll have some conversation. So you're persuading them to evacuate. You then have to try and persuade them to give some supplies and guards. Now, obviously, they won't want to give up too many because they'll have to protect their people as well. So,
but we'll travel with them to Lightview.
Yeah,
and from there, if we can persuade Lightview to do the same, we can then take a small portion of the two lots of guards and some supplies and send it across past Quickfield, and we can then head towards Whitewood, for example. But they'll still have plenty of guards, because they won't have to. We're not asking to give all their guards.
Okay.
We're just asking them to contribute some men and some supplies.
All right. So,
Even a small amount from each one is going to be a massive assistance to us. We don't need a lot, but the combined amount will be more than enough.
okay.
Every little helps.
All right. All right. So, supplies they will give you. All right. So you got supplies, men, basically to evacuate. Okay. Roll me a persuasion then, or if you want to try intimidate them, I guess, scare them to leave, you might, by all means you can. They've not seen anything, they don't know anything, you're just some random people who've come in and told them to leave their village.
I've got my sigil and stuff to show that I'm a member of the order.
Yeah, okay.
So I've got that as proof.
So roll what you feel. Intimidation or persuasion, I'm guessing is going to be intimidation for you, so you're basically trying to scare them out of sort of staying there.
Okay,
I'm
here
just
we go.
stand there. Ooh, something.
Okay, yeah. You can tell me what you tell them. How are you scaring them out of this village?
I stand there and look at the mayor and go, do you want to die? Do you want the bodies of your women and children scattering these streets? Because if you don't, I suggest you gather whoever you can, supplies and guards, and get the hell out of here. Because they are coming. They are going to besiege the sanctuary, and you will not stand in their way.
Yeah.
Do you want to survive, or do you want to be rations?
Yeah, there's a bit of panic, and the mayor looks absolutely not stone faced. Like the color leaves his face when you sort of explain it in that very vigorous way. So they run off, and it takes them. It's going to take them about a day to sort of sort themselves out in there. So it's half a day, a day for you to sort of get everybody organized and stuff. Roll me. Where they go is, probably they're not coming to the sanctuary with you, right? So it's basically you need to persuade them to give you some supplies and some men. So we need that.
Am I being mean again? I'm gonna have to be mean again, aren't I?
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
you're a horrible person. These people just been told they're, and you're just right. So what? How are you intimidating them to give you
Oh my God.
give you people and supplies?
If you want a home to come back to, you will lend us what you can spare.
That's more of
Otherwise, all you will come back to is ashes and dust.
All right. Okay. Fine. Yeah. All right. So they sort of give up some of their supplies.
Horrible person.
I will roll.
Yeah,
It's
you're
a
quite
win. I haven't had to
horrible.
chop anyone's head off yet.
I'll do like a mass roll of how many supplies and stuff you get at the end of it. All right. So you get your supplies. Men. Roll me. You're gonna have to persuade them for the men. I'm gonna say you're not gonna be able to use intimidation. You need to persuade them to give you
With
men.
advantage.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage on it. Yeah, because there's two of you. Yeah.
Mark, what's your persuasion?
My persuasion is 2.
Yours is better than me. Mine's 1.
God.
Ooh, very good. Okay,
Ooh.
all right. So they, they're scared, witless. They will give you, again, they'll give you some men towards it. Again, we'll roll them when we've got when we've got everything done for them. Okay, so they've sort of evacuated. It's taken you a day, so it's half a day there, taking you a day to sort everything out. It's going to take you
Then up to light view behind them.
Yeah, so it's going to take you another half a day to get you to light view. So you're on day 4 now in light view. Let me just so this has been 1, Free
That's the
hand.
sound of someone editing a spreadsheet, I think.
Boop. So they are now evacuated, taking themselves off. Light view, yeah, same thing again. So we'll just go through it. So that's stay, same thing again. So roll me, your 2 intimidations and then your persuasion.
2 intimidations and Mark, if you do persuasion again.
Yep. So you got to be scary first.
Rawr.
Okay, yeah. So they'll give you,
nice.
they'll evacuate.
Horrible
They'll
bastard.
evacuate. They see these crowd of people coming into their village and stuff. They're panicking. So yeah, that's fine.
Second
Supplies.
one.
Yeah.
Still
okay.
a horrible person.
They will give you supplies. And now for some help. Yeah, they see there's so many people there. They're not willing to give you any of their sort of fighting men to sort of help in that situation. But they are evacuated, and that is another day. So that is 2. So that's 3 days. And they are sort of off. Where are you going next?
What do you think? Should we risk going to Whitewood and then coming back, or should we go across to Whitfield
Do
and
we have
Summerfield
time
and stuff?
to go to Whitewood?
I don't think we do. No, I think they're far enough away.
You don't know about
Yeah,
the
I think
time. You currently don't know about the time. You don't even know when Tharavol's coming back, so it's up to yourselves.
Well, no, but we're looking at everything. Do we have the time to go that way, or are we better off making sure we get to all the close by villages?
Is that
Responsibility and all.
if we go to Whitewood, that's the time there and the time back, and then we've got to go to Quickfield because it's
And Summerfield and Pilgrim's Rest, yeah.
Yeah, so rather than doubling back, we might as well
Yeah.
just go carry
Carry
on
on
round.
circuit.
Yeah.
To Quickfield!
Half of these villages sound like middle class shopping, like supermarkets.
They do.
Yeah.
The Waitrose effect. They
More
get everywhere.
savings at Quickfields.
Yeah.
Summerfield,
I never
Summerfield was one.
I never,
was one.
I never thought about it like that, but yeah, they do actually. Okay.
Lightview Shopping Mall.
Yeah. Welcome to Stonebury, where the prices are low. Okay. Right. So that is
Summerfield.
half.
I'll have half a pound of Pilgrim's Rest, please.
2. So that's
And
3.
some ham.
So 3.5. So quick quails are going to be 4.5 by the end of this. So roll again for those.
Oh, I'm a horrible person. I'm a horrible person.
Yep.
We already knew that.
Yep. And then your persuasion, please, with advantage. They'll give you a few, but it's going to be low quality sort of guy volunteers, basically. So yeah.
That's okay. We can tie them to a ballista and shoot them out there. Apparently that works.
And
That's the evacuation plan.
String
We
of
just
people
went-
tied together by a rope and a ballista. Woo!
Yeah. In a barrel. In barrels.
okay, they sort of kind of take themselves off. Summerfield.
Summerfields. Yep.
Okay, so that is yeah. How have you got a crit fail on a 21?
I have no idea.
Because the base stat is 11. So I'm guessing that if you look at the thing.
Oh, fucking hell. Plus
she
10.
can't-
Oh yeah,
she's
11's
got,
mod.
she's
Yeah.
got one of those things where she
Yeah,
can't.
plus
get
10, plus
less than
5, plus
10.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
so-
fine. Yeah,
First one, second one.
yeah, that's fine. And then your
This feels
persuasion.
really horrible right now. I'm
With
basically
advantage. Okay,
scaring
yeah.
these
So
people out of their home.
they'll give you some men because they've got like Risha Keep near them, so they're sort of taking themselves off there, so they're fine. So you're getting and men for that. Ooh.
It's raining men.
Okay, and then Pilgrim's Rest, I guess.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's ride in the country and terrify a few villagers.
Right?
Yep.
I'm like a poltergeist driving people out of their homes with very pointy things.
You're
That's
not
said
going
on the wings,
let's
though.
just
I've
say
not
you're
beheaded
probably
anyone
not.
yet.
You're not going to be liked in this area.
I'm really not.
Your reputation's going to be fucking shot.
Oh my God.
There's going to be no. There's going to be no discount for you in
scary
the general
old
store.
lady turned up.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
Persuasion. Nope. Okay, so they will you will get supplies for that one. All right, so that is a total of half a day, day and a half, 2, So it's 3 days, 3.5, 4.5, 5, 6, 6.5, 7.5. So it's 8 days. So you are 8 plus 2. So you're on day 10 when you get back to the Temple of Devotion or the Sanctuary of Devotion.
You just have Seren like riding back in. Go, I need a moment alone and a bottle of ale.
Day 10. Okay. So let's just update my spreadsheet here. So, right. So we've done that. So, okay.
If I ever show my face around here after this, I'm going to get lynched.
Barty and Arno, you got to day 3. No, actually,
we were on day 3 to start with.
You're on day 4.
Then we did. Okay, you're happy with day 4?
Yeah. Well, or if you want to sort of say day 6, it sort of pushes. It's up to yourselves if you want to do anything in the meantime before Tharavel rocks up, or day 6 then Tharavel rocks up and you've got sort of thing.
Probably starting to keep a bit of a low profile, I think.
Yeah.
I'd say, if anything, probably try and find Gadden, give him a heads up about the anti-magical defenses.
Yeah.
And
definitely
aid him in any sort of like knowledge investigation stuff he wants to do, so he gets advantage.
Okay, yeah. So in the 2 days, it's probably going to be because he's going to try and train some guys and help with the fortifications and stuff, which will so Garden is defenses. Okay, so that's what he's doing for up to day 6. You guys are going to be on the defenses and things up to day 6. I will do like rolls and stuff probably after, just so I understand where everything is. Right, you're back on day 6. Saren, you've got supplies, recruitment.
I thought you said there'd be some visitors on day 4.
There will be. It's because it's we're dragging this on quite a lot and stuff, and I'm trying to get through a lot of it quite quickly and stuff. So there is, Eldrith will rock up with
Gant.
With Gant, but obviously you'll all be busy doing other things and stuff. So these two random people, these people coming in, Eldrith, you understand, but you'll not sort of pick up to them. We can do that whenever sort of Tharavel rocks up and everybody's sort of together and stuff. So you guys are on day 8, so you're not there. You're on day 10, sorry, to get to when you returned. Okay, Arno, you get.
Arno, during this time, like he would have asked Barty, like what he thinks about approaching Kiamat and trying to convince him that the Red Witches aren't on his side.
I think Kiamat would be prone to probably killing us for the suggestion. Unless we can, we've got proof.
You can get ahead.
So we can maybe try and gather some more intel. If we know that the Red Witches are working against him, so maybe we can start scrying on them or something.
I think Arno will probably spend his time a bit with Cyril, but also spend his time just watching the Red Witches that are least close in proximity to Kiamat, and just trying to see what they do, whether they do anything kind of suspicious that leads him to believe or obtain proof that perhaps they are.
Okay.
You'll for him.
You'll
go on.
Roll me a so you're just keeping an eye on them then. So just roll me a perception check. You can both roll me perception checks, actually.
Yes. 19 plus 3.
Ah.
Okay. You you sort of notice that there's always one of these red witches, sort of, that be it sort of it's on a rotation. There's always sort of kind of one around Kiamat at any time. There's sort of it's not something you've thought about, but now you know about it. It seems obvious. There is always a red witch at his side at all times. Roll me a history check.
Oh, I've
Me.
got this unlock.
Or Darcy as well.
Yeah, you can roll one, Arno, if you want as well.
Yes! Another 19 plus 3.
Okay, you both sort of start putting two and together, and you start thinking about, like, Arno, you sort of think back to even the funeral in Balon and stuff, and there was one there, and you notice that there's every time you've seen him, there's always been one of these red witches around him, and you sort of start putting it together that he's probably been under their control for quite a while now, and they've always been there. Right, okay, so you've done that, you've sort of made that deduction. You are
Deduction that he's under their control.
well, you've made that. You've sort of
Yeah.
made that assumption that that you're thinking it back, and obviously Barty wasn't there, but you think back to when you first met Kiamat and stuff. You sort of think you like he obviously there wasn't one there when we did the game, but you think back retconning. You sort of think, yeah, there was a red witch there
Yeah.
at that time. And you start thinking about it. There's always been one by his side at all times. He's always looking back. There's always one smirking behind him. There's always somebody doing something when he's there.
Zavra said as much as well, didn't he? He said that they're there to enthrall him. And I think we took it to mean like, oh, it's part of our future plans, but it's
It's
likely
more
always
maintain
been
than
that
do.
way. Yeah.
Okay, so he, as you're sort of kind of making these deductions and you're sort of talking to each other sort of in this little alcove in the sanctuary itself, the main gates open and Tharaval and Ceravel sort of kind of come in the horses. As they do so, I suppose I should really move you over to boop, boop, boop. Okay, so you guys are off doing things. Let's move people around. So, they've come in, and we'll say they sort of come into the gate there. Gaddon, we'll say, is with you, and you two sort of, you're all in that vicinity there. So they come in, and they look, quite sort of worried. With that, you sort of Eldrith comes in, and you see it with her another figure on sort of crutches, as he sort of like hobbles over with her to you guys. And Laravel, up to you.
So who all have we got there? Arno,
You got-
Gaddon, Barty.
You've got Niasil's there. Pretty much everybody bar Lance and Saren.
So they run up sort of pretty urgently to everybody and say the outlook is not good, my friends. We've seen the forces that land on our shores, and they are of they are massive. So they basically take their time to inform them like what they saw and what happened while they were away. So they tell them about the rangers ambushing forces along the coastline. So that
the other forces can sort of land without.
Morning.
Um, they do. He does also mention that though they saw Jorah Thrasta, and it looked like it had been overrun, which they believe could now mean that it gives the real reason as to why Tiamat is here. Is it Tiamat? I
Yeah,
always get mixed up.
came out Ratskill, yeah.
He is looking for a new nest. Did you say Gant was there as well?
Yeah, so Gant will obviously say, did you, in his way, will say, did you find Guard Captain Girk? Did you give him my orders, or did you give him my letter?
We haven't found him yet, but we will keep searching. We scoured the shores, looked for days, but once we saw the forces coming our direction, we thought it best to return to inform the sanctuary that the siege is on our doorstep.
Perhaps we should let the High Paladin.
Yeah, any information we can provide to the High Paladin, but I suggest we.
As you're just stop you there. As you sort of are, you Arno says the High Paladin, then you sort of feel confused, like you were mistaken.
Oh no. Matt, why are you doing this?
Because he enjoys it.
I don't know what you're talking about. There was never a High Paladin.
Okay, Arno sort of stumbles over his words, and should we report this to somebody here at the sanctuary? Like, he's kind of confused.
Is Tharavel still aware that there's a High Paladin?
You can roll me a perception if you want. Just to sort of, if you gotta make your way, it's you need a high roll to sort of. You all know what's going on, but because somebody let it loose.
Characters don't.
What's your initial?
That's pretty hard.
No, it has to be sort of high as a standard high, not sort of with modifiers. Okay. You're not. Like you get that sort of you get that feeling that there's
20.
it's in the back of your head, but you're not understanding what he's saying. Like, you feel like there should be somebody in charge here, but you're not sure who. Garin then says it must be because there's been a cleric, a sort of a paladin who he's been talking to in the sort of one of the monasteries sectors, and he's the one that, he seems to know about all the fortification stuff. He must be in charge.
We will go to him. We need to inform the higher ranks.
Okay, so right, you go off to talk to this guy. He is of rank. You can tell he's of rank. He understands. Garin sort of talks up to him, but he seems somewhat confused himself. Like, he feels like he should be in charge, but he doesn't understand why. Like, you know, he knows he's got authority, but he doesn't fully know why he's in charge. Like, he feels like somebody else should be, but, you know, so he just sort of kind of shakes himself out of it and then says, obviously, yes, we must find out how many there are coming this way. We must see how many come to take this sanctuary.
Didn't Tharivel already see?
He saw that it was loads, but he didn't know who's coming. He didn't say who's coming.
I don't know what. Yeah,
He
they're
doesn't know
still
what-
quite far off.
He doesn't know where they're going or how many are coming in this direction. He just knows that there's a lot coming ashore.
Would they have been able to tell roughly how many days off they are? I mean, I think it was what, a day or two for us to actually get from there.
Yeah,
back
so they're
again,
going
but then
to be
I
a
would
big.
assume that they're going to need to
Shake themselves out
Unload.
into some order.
Yeah.
get into formations and stuff like that. And
Yeah, so as they come along, they're obviously going to bypass the bastion and stuff. So you're looking what? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. So with organization, let's say 2 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks. You're not sure how many are going to come in this direction and stuff, or where the rest of it are coming. But you know, you sort of estimate it's probably going to take them, while mustered and organized, probably about 2 weeks to sort of get up there.
Ooh.
Matt,
We're still aware though of that there was a false Hydra in the Bastion of the Morning Star, weren't we?
So like the way he's thrown in is because you let it out, and I just couldn't really get around. Ages ago, I said I'm just going to do it, so that's been underlying from the very beginning that he was going to be there. So, but you are going to have to play like you don't know, because that's how it works. So,
But would they have known, like, with this spore sort of going into the air? Would they know, like, how far that would go? And
well, you're not
settle?
thinking about it. It's not been on your mind. It's not being brought up, or it just went.
I meant originally, like, when they found out about the spores, would some of the OG crew, like, be very concerned that it would settle nearby?
Well, yeah,
Obviously we wouldn't. Yeah.
Obviously everybody, but I don't think you told them.
But when I was in the noose, I think the High Paladin was talking about it.
What High Paladin?
Yeah, but back then.
Back when.
Can I ask about what's the deal with Whitewood? What kind of place is it? Have we been through there?
You've been to Whitewood. That's where the spy was. You know, the guy, not the spy, the assassin who was trying to take out Tharivel and Ceravel. That's where you sort of locked him up with some of the guards there.
What was the authority there like? I can't remember.
But yeah, you sort of persuaded the local militia and guards to sort of look after him while they sent for more reinforcements, which I don't think you ever did, but you know.
Okay. I would.
So basically,
because
you know, because we won't have to go through the whole, like, you know, we all know we've done the false Hydra thing loads and stuff. It's basically an underlying threat that could literally undermine your whole thing if you don't find it and deal with it. And it doesn't have to be a whole thing where you're having to sort of fight. It's basically doing enough to sort of realize that this thing's here, and then find it and deal with it. Because as time goes on, it's going to start killing people, and it will start killing, and that's what I'm saying. It's going to start
More
killing
people.
It's going to kill NPCs, and then it's going to start killing PCs. So it's the longer you take to deal with that, then it's going to do, and then obviously it will undermine it for when the things turn up. So that's sort of,
I guess you'll be getting us to do perception rolls.
yeah.
That's not a concern. But Arno, after hearing Terrible talk about the forces sort of on the doorstep and how many of them there are, I think it's way bigger of an invasion than Arno ever. His thought immediately goes to Cyril and his safety. Please don't say who's Cyril.
I was tempted, but I know. I thought you might have flipped out. I was really tempted, but I know you'd murder me. So no, he's fine. Though, I am warning you, if you take too long with it, it's just going to be a random roll. When it comes to NPCs, I'm just going to roll a number, and people will die. Yeah.
This is unrelated to the Hydra revelation. Yeah. This is what I was going to say before the High Paladin thing. But when he knows about the sheer amount of forces coming in, like he thinks straight to Cyril and whether this is the safest place for him. And he's very, very conflicted because he doesn't want to, lose sight of him again. But then ultimately he just wants to protect him. So he's gonna find Cyril and try and convince him and a contingent from the sanctuary to accompany him and ride out to Whitewood for safety.
Okay. You we'll say he's there for the sake of it. Roll me an insight check. Actually, no. What do we know? Because you're not. Roll me a perception check. Actually, on him. Sorry. Roll me a perception.
Perception.
Yeah. Okay.
20.
He's being slightly odd, and he's slightly fidgety, and you've noticed he's starting to talk to himself again.
Okay, so that's for the perception, and then I guess we can use the insight roll of 16 to tell me if I can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Well, you're sort of you've picked up that he's sort of speaking to himself again. He's not really. He seems to have. You're getting the impression he's sort of going back to what he was. Like something's got a hold of him again.
Okay, he'll take him off and he'll ask him. Cyril, is everything okay? You were beginning to seem more of yourself, more of your mind, and you seem to have progressed somewhat. What's going on?
He seems distracted, and he's like he's somewhere else, and he says, "Well, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I'm fine. It's good. Just the whole thing is, and he sort of stops, and he's sort of like he's listening out for something, and then he says, "Oh, this whole thing's just a bit, it's a bit overwhelming."
Yes, this is not really what I had in mind after our reuniting. I fear for your safety here. Now that Terrible has returned with news of the armed forces approaching, I fear I cannot protect you in the way that I want. The old me would have just fled with you to keep you safe, but this version of me, I must stay. I would like you to go west to lands for now, safer, so that I can find you when this is all over. And once again, travel together.
Roll me persuasion. Yeah, roll me persuasion.
Yes.
Okay. He he's very reticent, and he gets slightly upset with you in general, because you've just found each other, and in that moment of emotion, it seems like he's back to his normal self again, and he insists that you come with him. We can't be parted again, but eventually you sort of tell him that this is no place for you. He's nothing special. He currently he's just an average sort of halfling. He doesn't have any powers as far as you're aware and stuff. He's not sort of he's just been through a lot, and you just want his safety. He he understands. He's not happy about it, but he understands, and he will sort of, if you want him to leave, he'll go.
I will. I'll then think about asking whether we can afford any forces to accompany him, and then in my confusion of thinking who to ask, can't remember the authority here, I'll look to Eldereth and I'll ask her, Eldereth, I know you have been with us for a while, but I would feel only confident in someone that I trust wholeheartedly. I know you want to stay and be part of this with us, but this is something that is very, very important, and I cannot go. Would you please accompany my brother to Whitewood so that we can reunite with you after this is over? And if everything goes tits up, then find yourselves both safe.
You're going to roll me persuasion at disadvantage. She's not overly keen on being just a what's a bodyguard? Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
That's that'll be a 9. That it won't get lower than that if it's at disadvantage.
Okay, so 17 then.
No, hang on. Oh yeah, wait. Yeah, it won't get lower than 17.
Okay. She's not happy about it, but she begrudgingly does it, or she'll do it. She, has this little sort of like side quip. Lance isn't there. This sort of side quip about being a glorified bodyguard, and a Gant sort of gives her a sort of a glance and a sort of what a beautiful one that is, lass. And she sort of shakes her head, and then goes off and gets some bits and pieces together, gets a sort of a pony for Cyril, gets a horse for herself, and goes to sort of take him away.
As before he leaves, Arno will spend a moment with him and put his forehead against his and embrace, and he'll say, "My brother, I will find you, but I need to know that you are safe."
Again, when you're speaking to him, you notice he's a bit distant, and then he sort of, after, like, he's distracted, and then he turns to you go, "Oh yeah, of course, brother, yeah, like, it's all right, everything's fine."
Arno sort of frowns, and he says to Eldereth, "I will not forget this. Please look out for him well. He's not seeming himself." And he nods.
Okay. So she sort of takes himself. She takes him and herself off to the west, or to the western gate. Roll me. You can all roll me a perception check.
God.
Ooh, whose was the 30?
That's Cerevel.
Always clutch servo.
Okay. Ceravel,
Do
he.
you want to roll for Gadden as well?
Oh
Someone
yeah,
wanna
roll for
Gadden?
roll for Gadden. Yeah.
I don't have access.
Oh, okay. What's his perception modifier? Actually, one more. I've got the sheet here. I'll just roll 20 now. Perception for Gadden is perception. He's got a +5. So, okay, so. Yep. Okay. He's about the same. So Gadden and Ceravel look sort of like they're slightly uneasy. Gadden especially, he says, this has happened again. This feeling, something is not right. Something is not right here. I have this feeling again. There's something in this place. Something manipulating us. It's hard to explain. It's like silence. It's oh, how do I explain it? It's like all the noise in the world sort of eases away into silence, and then suddenly, for a split second, reality kicks back, and then silence once more. Now, who has encountered the it's only Tharaval currently?
And Gant.
Yeah.
And Gant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Tharaval
Gant,
and
yeah. Okay, so Tharaval, roll me an insight. No, what's it going to be to sort of understand the context
Yeah,
of what
it's
he said?
insight.
Insight. Yeah, roll me an
Yeah,
insight. Okay, you click, and you realize. You start sort of putting 2 and 2 together. You didn't tell him about sort of Did they see you dumping the stuff out of the bag? Did you tell them about it, any of that stuff, Arno?
I remember saying when I was with the High Paladin in the news about protesting innocence, that it wasn't the Paladin asked me specifically about the spores and releasing them.
Yeah.
And I remember saying that it was a complete accident. So that is when it was out in the public. Whoever was watching that did hear about.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that Tharaval and Cerevel were aware.
Oh yeah, when Tharaval came to Arno in the cell, like we spoke about it. Do you remember?
I think they were even aware that it basically they potentially could have been a false Hydra before that.
But irrespective of that, like we had a false Hydra conversation in my cell, and I let slip to you of what happened. I remember that now.
Okay, right. So you're basically putting 2 and 2 together, and from what Garen said and what Cerevel's saying, your face just drops. Like, you're not one to be shaken very often, but you feel fear because this enemy within is potentially greater than the enemy without coming for you.
Tharaval, obviously, like in a sort of state of panic, but having sort of dealt yeah, basically not being overly, 100% as to what is going on, but it all seems very familiar. He has he got? I think he does actually. Yeah. So he's got a steel mirror, that he takes out of his pack, and he sort of holds it out in front of him, and he sort of looks in it and moves his hand about, looking to see if he can see anything in the reflection.
Honest, what are you doing?
Tharival just sort of ignores him. He just, he's very sort of concentrating on what he's doing. He's kind of, he's got a real strong hunch about something, and he
roll me a perception check.
he's not another nat one.
You can do it.
Okay. As you're looking through your mirror, you notice coming from what are you gonna notice? Let me just have a think. Let me just sort of have a little look here. So what do you notice? It's going to be, just trying to think. You were outside the gate. I'm just trying to. No, okay, I'm not going to convolute it. Okay, so you notice that you're not seeing anything like you saw in Pure Harbor. No, was it Pure Harbor? Where
Yeah,
it happened? Yeah. You're not seeing any sort of large necks or anything like that, but you're noticing that there are, within some of the sort of buildings around you, you notice small sort of holes in the roof, some in the side of the walls. When you take the mirror away, they seem to disappear. And it sort of confirms your suspicion that that it's here. It might not be as large as it is because it's only had a small amount of time to be here, but it's there and it's growing.
Tharibal's still sort of holding the mirror out in front of him. He can almost sort of see his hands start to shake, and the color sort of drains from his face, and the mirror slowly sort of comes down, and with realization of what's going on, and he sort of he looks to Tharival and sort of says, "It's happening again." He all of a sudden, like very, very urgently, he sort of looks to everybody and says, "Quickly, everybody, cover your ears. Put something in your ears so you cannot hear. Do it now. Do it now. Do it. Do it now.
Do it now. Yeah.
Get to the chopper.
Yep. Right. You can. Do you want to put things in your ears, or you?
Yeah. Anna will definitely be listening, hearing the panic in Tharival's voice.
Okay. So, Barty, are you adhering to the fingers and ears, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll, like, pull out bits of like cotton. It's like, what's happening, Tharival?
Okay. Sorry, Carol.
Before he, people put the things in their ears. He just he says, put
something in your ears and pay attention to your surroundings. And he sort of shoves the mirror towards Arno. Just look and pay attention. And as he does it, he hands the mirror to Arno, and then puts like sort of some cloth in his own ears.
Okay.
Right, Anna takes the mirror, a little confused.
Yeah, roll perception. You can have advantage on it.
Me or everyone?
You can roll because you got the mirror and stuff. So you get it. You can have advantage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
21.
Again, yeah. So you see a similar thing. You notice, like, without the mirror, some of the buildings seem, just as normal, but then you're noticing, with the cloth in your ears, and you're looking at the mirror, and you're looking at the buildings, that there's damage to them, which you can't see. Which you can't see when the mirror isn't there, and it just
If he left, then he should be able to see it without the mirror.
Say it again. Well, yeah, sort of, yeah. I think with the things in your ears, yeah. Okay.
Again, I think it was
That's right.
more the assumption
right.
that in case there's some sound getting in, in case I wasn't too
good.
sure if you needed to be completely deaf or if there was some sound getting in from. It was more sort of.
I guess it depends how close
Doubling
you
up.
are to it, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's it can sort of the song will basically the song is the big part of it, sort of making the illusion, because it's effectively drowning everything out and implanting this fake reality in the place. When your ears are sort of closed, that song can't get to you. So think your reality is a bit more sort of there. If you're, depending on how much it's sort of clogged up, but it's sort of for simplicity's sake, because we've done it loads. You notice that there's sort of holes and stuff in the walls and in the ceiling of some places, and there's not a lot of damage, but there's stuff there which wasn't there when you first looked. Which you don't understand. You have no idea. You've got no concept of what it is or anything. You don't know.
Let me just thought of something.
Gant starts looking at you strangely, and then his face sort of drops. Oh, you fucking cunts. I've just left this fucking bastard. And that obviously he's saying is you're not going to be able to hear it because your ears are blocked and stuff, but he just sort of shaking his head, looking around, looking for the nearest ballista.
So,
Express elevator out.
Yeah.
I don't know what this will work, but I want to cast Pass Without Trace. Basically, it says the description: a veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection. Will that basically give us the sort of the ability to deafen out sound within the radius of that spell, but be able to communicate to each other?
Yeah, I don't see why not. If it says silence, then yeah, why not?
Yes, it says a veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companion from detection for the duration. Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has a 10+ bonus dexterity stealth checks and can't be tracked except by magical means. A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or traces of its passage. So
You won't know that you can cast magic, though, will you?
And it's only going to be Barty
Sure.
and no, yeah, well, no, again, yeah, fine. You can you can cast magic. Yeah, it's fine.
well, basically, he'll if he doesn't know, he
Would you try?
it's either he'll try, otherwise he sort of tries to draw his bow and see if it does anything.
Yeah, it's fine. You
And
know,
if he can-
you work it out. That that things are you look slightly surprised that you can do what you need to do.
Farival, don't even attempt magic here. It is quite useless with the anti-magic field in place.
Oh, is there?
He can't hear you, can he?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Roll me a insight check.
Me?
Yeah, just to see if you understand his nudge, basically. No.
Arno watches Tharabal and he says, "Be careful, my friend. There are watchful eyes."
By the way, you've all got your ears plugged, so you can't hear each other. It's one of the downsides of can't hear each other.
Aravel's sort of looking about, and he can see that like people's mouths moving, and stuff like that, but he doesn't know what they're saying. He then pulls out some parchment and scribbles down, a note saying, "I can't hear you." Holds it up to everybody.
Okay. Arno will.
Not
He-
quite
he
John
then-
Cena.
He then writes on the next, on like another, further on down on the parchment, it's like, "Can you see it?" And sort of,
Can you see it?
can you
Oh,
see it?
can you-
As in, can you see the differences in the reflection of the mirror?
Arno nods.
Do you see it?
Gant sort of kind of hobbles over to you, quickly grabs your piece of paper, and sort of furiously scribbles down,
Cunt.
cunts. It says, cunts.
Big letters.
Let's
Big letters across the whole
we
thing.
need to leave, and then sort of
So now that they're aware of it, that they're still basically, if they take the things out of their ears, they're still affected by it, aren't they?
You're still
Just because
affected
they can
by
hear
it.
the song.
Yeah, you're still affected by it. And it can manipulate you. So yeah, so it's up to yourselves how to do it. Obviously, you have to be. It's sentient and stuff, so understand. So if it knows it's the game's up, it may try to
Well,
Love you.
if we're doing this pass without trace, then it's given us all a +10 to stealth checks anyway.
that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
sweet.
though Arno and Barty would have seen you like pull out your bow to check. I think they put 2 and 2 together, and they see the sort of look on your face. I think that there'd be an attempt to try and warn you off using magic. Like we'd probably grab the
Okay.
pencil and write down on the parchment, and Arno will just write quickly because he knows there's not much time. It just says don't cast. And then he'll, if you pause at that, he'll continue and just write they don't know.
Tharavel then sort of he sort of nods, sort of understanding. He then puts in capital letters, false Hydra, and show a question mark, and shows it to everybody, and he shows it to Gant.
He sort of like nods furiously at you, and sort of starts hobbling towards the gate.
Arno will
Tharavel,
write. Oh, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Arno will just write. Who is that?
Tharavel, he shakes his head and sort of waves, like it's not important. But he turns around and he runs after Gant, and he sort of puts his arm around him and sort of tries to turn him back, to like basically trying to not make a scene.
Okay, carry on.
He brings Gant back to the sort of group. Then next thing he writes on the parchment is, "We need to find it."
Arno grabs the pencil off you or whatever and says, "Lance?" ?
He's not gonna know where Lance is.
No, but that's not what he meant. Arno says, "Oh no, never mind."
Tharavel then says, or right, he just sort of shrugs, like, I don't know.
All right. Arno starts pointing at himself and you and Gadden and Barty and Serval, and in different directions.
Yeah. Tharavel nods. And he sort of looks around everybody and reminds. He points at them like the mirror, and he points at your ear, at his ears as well, just sort of reminding. This is how you see.
If you remember.
Roll me insight, just so you understand what he's sort of getting at.
It's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Well, it's not. He's pointing at his ears, and
Yeah, that are blocked, and the mirror that Arno's used.
Well, Arno's obviously going to have seen what's happening by looking in the mirror, so surely he's going to know.
Yeah, exactly.
If he passed the mirror around to everybody else.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
And get them to see.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So Tharavel takes the mirror back. And he. Oh shit.
As you are sort of you're all standing there in this sort of like group, like furiously writing on this piece of paper, and Gant's gone off, and you come back, and you've sent off one of the sort of red witches sort of peers out at you, and starts. It's the one that Barty talked to, and she starts walking out with some of her dragonborn towards you, and starts to say stuff. Starts talking to you. Obviously, you've got these things in your ears, and she's looking confused. So she's talking to you, but you can't hear.
Arno grabs the parchment off Tharavel and chucks it in a nearby brazier to burn it.
She's still talking to you, and you're, like they're looking at each other sort of strangely, like, why aren't you talking to them? The dragonborn seems slightly itchy with their axes.
Arno will try pointing again, suggesting they disperse.
Tharavel sort of turns to the dragon, the red witch and the dragonborn, and he can see her mouth moving and everything like that, and he basically looks her dead in the eye and walks past her as to give the impression that he is just blatantly ignoring what she's saying.
Okay. All right.
Even doubt piss off the terrifyingly powerful witch.
Right. So, Barty, and Arno. I am going to cast Detect Thoughts from her. Now, I'll let you try and sort of anticipate this if you wish to try and deal with it. So I'm not sure what I need use to roll to sort of because something's happening. She's confused, so and you're not doing anything, so she's going to try and figure it out. She's done it before, so she's going to do it again. But I'll let you try and counter it. What do you would you need?
Barty's going to deliberately fail the save.
Yeah.
But because she's coming over and is talking and stuff, he's gonna think unsexy thoughts as hard as he can.
Right. Okay.
And just be like, where's Lance? Where's Lance? Where's Lance? Where's Lance? Where's Lance? And like just try and obfuscate whatever's going on in his head with that just one thought.
Yeah. Okay. She looks
It's
at
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, she looks at you and she's, she's more confused. She looks very frustrated. The Dragonborn are advancing towards you and pointing at you and pointing to your ears, and going, like hands up, like what is that? What are you doing?
Hello, friends. Alvicia, nice to see you outside.
British tourist mode. Now we just call him Tweeflower.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? Because they're going to try and remove it. They're obviously they know something's up. And they're all sitting there not talking to them, and so obviously they're very suspicious as it stands. So, what's your extrication plan? What are you going to do?
I think Arno would probably make an impulsive decision. He's pretty damn scared, and he'll see the Dragonborn coming towards him and the Red Witch, and he'll just start he'll just start speaking, and he'll warn them, and he says, get everybody to cover their ears. The false Hydra threat is real. It is here. It will control us, all of us. Do not put us in more danger. Help us find it so we can deal with it.
Yeah.
But you must cover your ears.
Right.
Obviously, none of the party hear this.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll obviously say, okay, press one. Let me just roll. Okay. All right. Roll me a they're going to be aware of that sort of thing. They're quite distinct. So roll me a persuasion.
Well, Kiamat already said that he knew of the false Hydra.
Yeah. So they'll be aware of it. So roll me a persuasion. Yeah.
Not 20.
Boom.
Nice.
Okay. As soon as you say false Hydra, the Red Witch's face just sort of goes from sort of like annoyed and confused to sort of like you've never seen her scared, but she suddenly like just her face completely changes as well. The Dragonborn seem quite confused, but she sort of casts a spell around everybody, and then sort of points to your ears, and sort of says, "Take it out," and you know. Because your magic is aware, you're aware that she's cast a spell.
Yeah, Vito recognize it when
Yeah,
like, he just immediately like pulls the cloth out of his ears and he's like, "Oh, thank goodness!"
Yeah,
Arno follows.
Finally, someone that can cast magic and help.
Arno says, "What is it? Are we safe from sound?"
Roll deception. No, it's okay. Okay.
Provided some sort of comforting sound.
Yeah. Yeah. So she casts this spell and she says, "What have you done?"
We have not done anything. All that we have done is discovered that the false Hydra lives here within the sanctuary. It has taken root. We must find it and destroy it.
Oh, this is not good.
Destroys
This is not good. This is not how it's meant to be. How could you be so stupid? Oh my god.
Gant sort of pipes in and says, "Sorry to interrupt you, lovely, but I've just got away from one of those fuckers in the fucking bastion. And then you're telling me there's another one here. Happy fucking days."
She the Dragonborn, like she sort of speaks to them, and they one of them says, "You know, we must talk to Lord Kiamat about this." She says, "No, you will not say a word."
And why not?
If we make too much of a scene, it will know we know, and we will all die. I am not sure if you have dealt with one of these things before, Master Halfling, but they are dangerous beyond all foe. They care not for good or evil, just for control, and just for the thirst, and the sport of it. This place, like the Bastion, will go, and we will go with it. If we are not careful and we do not deal with this thing quickly, then this entire area will cease to exist.
Then let us find it.
So she sort of nods, and she says, so what's the plan?
Well, some of us, and he looks at Barty, are helpless without our magic. So perhaps you and the Dragonborn should deal with it.
And she sort of laughs. She says, "Me and the Dragonborn, two of us, or three of us, against it."
No, don't be so foolish. He means you, as in the Red Witches and the Dragonborn. Some total of.
She She okay, actually, yeah, roll me. You can roll me persuasion at disadvantage and I may take off a couple. Just depend. If it's like super high, then it's fine. But if it's not,
So
17 and 21.
so 17. Yeah. Okay. No, she's not. She's not buying it. She's like, no. We all need to deal with this. You've brought it in here. It's your fault. You and we will deal with this together. But Tiamat cannot know about this. Nobody else can know about this. If it catches on that everybody understands, then we are all dead.
Anna looks to Tharivel. Does Tharivel still have his earplugs in?
No, they'll be out now, I think.
Anna will ask him and he'll say, is this true of what she speaks?
Tharivel nods. He says, yes, the being seems to be aware. Although by not telling Tiamat, it puts him at risk, but by telling him or telling more, it puts everybody at risk also. It is how it works. We must find it. We must remove its head and prevent them from growing back. Fire is one of the main weapons. Cutting off a head on it by itself will do nothing.
The Red Witch sort of says, we must burn it from its nest. We must find its nest, and we must burn it from its existence. If it grows, if we leave it too long, it will grow, and then it will be unstoppable.
Then let us split up.
Okay. So that'll probably be downtime stuff. I think you trying to find it and deal with it. And then obviously how much damage it's done over that period of time. We can roll on and stuff. So Lance and Saren, you guys are on day 10. Sorry, you're on day 10. Let's see, everybody else. Yous are on day 6. So day 6. So you've got
So while we're off wandering, everything's going to shit as per usual.
yeah, pretty much. And there's not really much. There's not really much you can do about it. You're gonna have to just sort of wait it out, and sort of, you know, if it comes to if it's taking them longer than 4 days, then you can sort of kind of come in and sort of do what else. But yeah. So I think what'll happen.
We're looking for the booze.
Yeah, yeah. So. Yeah, there. Okay, that's the one. That's the one thing. That's the special table. So there is a table now. The longer you take, the more people are going to die, basically, as it devours them and stuff. So it's basically finding it, and then it's not going to be an overcomplicated thing. It's just sort of, you know, dealing with it. It'll be, you know, we'll figure out depending on how long you take and stuff. So I've got a table here. On what damage it's going to do as time goes on and stuff. So, all right. Does anybody want to do anything before we call it a night?
Well, I think they're just going to decide how they split up and comb the sanctuary, right?
Yep. Okay. Cool. And we can do that. We can do that part in downtime. All right, yeah, that's fine. If nobody else has got anything else to say,
Brother Gavin would like to say that he says hi.
And he also said, "Burn down the bastion."
Burn down the bastion. Okay.
He's wondering what Gadden's doing. I picture him kind of like, you know, doing a cat thing where he's like sitting in the corner licking his butt.
Okay. Yeah.
Groovy.
So you are on day 6. So there is stuff happening now that is going to cause damage to the thing. As days go on, if it's not found, and it's not going to be super easy to find, but it's not going to be impossible to find. It will start doing more damage and stuff. If it takes too long, then NPCs will start dying. If it takes very long, then PCs will start dying. Okay, so we will
I
leave.
mean, on the plus side, if people are dying, less food to worry about wasting.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's the
I'm a horrible person.
that's the other side of it as well. It
I'm a horrible person.
on a plus side of it, less mouths to feed, so less supplies
Oh
and
my
things like
God.
that. So
At least we know which PC is dying first.
Oh my god, it's
Oh
like
my God.
No one has to worry, except Vic.
it's
Yeah.
like Stormer taking the benefits away. Jesus Christ.
Bubble wrap, to use the wargaming term.
Oh my God. I'm a
Yeah,
horrible person.
we need Vic to get in the sanctuary so that we've got that cannon fodder first.
yes.
I
Yes.
mean, they hate me around here now anyway. Let's be fair.
Well, you've refused to watch Star Wars. You haven't watched Lord of the Rings. What other craziness have you not like?
No, I haven't read Lord of the Rings. I tried.
didn't
My
watch
brother got
Game
it
of
from his
Thrones.
school library. My brother got it from his school library. I tried to sit down and read it, and I just could not get into it.
You are
I
definitely.
You're
tried.
admitting this on stream now. You're going to be dead to the masses.
You
soon.
are,
Yeah.
you are Hydra fodder. It's
I'm
gonna be.
rolling
up in
She's
that
gonna.
character.
She's gonna walk in the gate, and then everyone's like, "Sarah and who?" And then that's it. That's gonna be your ignominious end.
Oh,
Good riddance. Good riddance. Call yourself a nerd. Ooh.
I
Okay.
never said such a thing.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's it. Yeah, we'll do that in downtime. We'll just do some rolls, and then we'll see how it ends up. Basically, based on the table I've got here.
Oh, hang on. Mark just said something in the chat. Is that true? If my ears are blocked, can I now remember the High Paladin?
Yes, you will remember. Well, it'll take a bit of time for things to sort of. So the way it is, it sort of infects your brain. You forget people. It's devoured or it's eaten, and then slowly, when reality starts kicking in, you will start remembering them again. So it's like
And then you
it's like
start
when
thinking,
they
"Oh, shit."
when they encountered it. They found some diaries and stuff for a warrior called Augury and stuff, and then they realized when they left it and they destroyed it that she was actually a part of the party from the very start, and there was all this stuff going on, and like Poopy.
Paladin's friend.
Yeah. So
Sorry, Tarabel's special friend.
yeah. So there was a lot of
That was
stuff.
fucking horrible.
Yeah, there was a bit of a love triangle going on, and it was all very sort of very emotional. But yeah, so
I remember watching this.
you slowly sort of start, it won't be a straight away, you'll know, but you'll start remembering people who didn't exist to you previously now existing and stuff. So straight away
Oh, no, well,
you won't sort of think, but you'll be like, yeah.
Arno, before we sign off, Arno will just have a light bulb moment, and he'll just go, "Shit, Cyril," and he'll turn to Tharabel, and he'll say, "Cyril started acting all strange again. It's all clear now. If there's another Hydra, I sent him away with Eldrith yesterday. Will he be okay out of the sanctuary?"
Well, Eldrit's
Will it stay
a
with
monster
him?
slayer, so she might be a bit more proof against the influences because she's
but
Fey ancestry as well.
Anna's just asking, like, will the Hydra still have reach, basically, of Cyril once he gets beyond, a certain radius?
It's only very small, so it's not going to have a
Yeah.
huge sort of
I
influence.
think basically Tharfol will say that if the Hydra is within the sanctuary and he is out of it, he should be safe. But we aren't to be sure that the Hydra isn't on him.
or if he's got more spores.
Dun dun dun.
Don't give him ideas.
And then Anna
That's
says,
just like, why didn't I think of that?
what,
I'm actually regretting saying that now because I could just give him Matt an idea.
No,
Yeah,
the original
Surely
original idea was going to be that he can help you track it down, but now he's gone, so you can't use it and stuff. But then I was like, yeah, maybe he does have more spores now.
then Anna will say, and what do we do about Lance and Saren? Do we keep them out or get them to help?
Championship level
Well,
Hydra
you'll know what they're doing, so you'll have a rough idea how long they're going to be away for.
Yeah, but we have the option to exit and try and find them.
Does Lance have one of the sending stones?
I think we did.
Everybody, I love this. The sending stones always get you. The sending stones always
I
get
know
you. It's
I
like,
don't
oh
have one.
yeah.
The thing is,
I forgot.
I'm actually pretty sure that Lance always did have one of the sending stones. I just
I
never remember who the other whoever has the other one.
Okay, let's
Never
clear
me,
this.
put it
Let's
that
clear
way.
this up. Let's clear this up. Who has? I'll let you have it now. Who has a sending stone?
Do you not have it in your character sheet inventory? Whoever has it.
No,
Just we keep
it's
forgetting
never been
about
added. Yeah.
Okay, I can put my hand up and say I don't have it.
I definitely don't have it. I've never had it.
As I recall, when we said we were talking about doing a tour around, the idea is that I would take the sending stone so that I could contact back to
Yes,
the
that is.
keep, which would imply that it's either with Gadden or Barty.
Okay. It's with
I
one of
think it might be Barty.
Yeah. Okay. We'll say Barty. We'll say Barty's got it. So Lance has one and Barty has one. There you go. Confirmed. Stick it on your sheets. No, sort of like the magic sending stones that seem to transport themselves around all the party.
They're special sending.
I just seem to.
Yeah.
Oh, suddenly I've got the sending stone. Okay.
They're like glitter. They're everywhere.
Okay.
It is now in my inventory.
Okay. All right.
All
So
If you break a sending stone into pieces, does it become more sending stones?
sending messages.
So Arnie will,
Sending gravel.
Arnie will say to Barty, like,
That's how you manufacture the screaming rock.
you must
Morse
warn
code.
Lance.
Tap it on the floor and it rattles.
Anna will tell Barty, you must warn Lance, but do we tell him to stay clear? Or, no, he'll never listen. Tell him to come back as soon as possible and help us find and destroy this thing.
Well, that fucks up a bunch of stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, depending on how you go, it's up to you. Like you can. It's day.
We'll sort that out in downtime.
Yeah, we can sort that.
Or,
you know.
or just tell him False Hydra and Sanctuary.
Stay away, Lance. Don't be a
Take,
hero.
take caution, and then we let Lance decide whether he wants to champion his way back or
Saren's
not.
now going to have a nervous breakdown because she just sent all those guards and supplies back to the sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Olympus has fallen.
Olympus has fallen.
But did you say that Lance and all are on like day 10 or something like that? So he must have had a sending
8.
stone on silent.
Yeah.
No, he's like that's why he's like, ooh, we're best check another 4 villages.
You know, he said that he turns the sending stone over and it starts going.
Yeah, right. Again, but like you know, if they get in touch with
Constantly
you,
vibrating for about a minute solid.
We'll figure it out if we're going to do that. Then it will affect how much we sent back.
yeah.
Because we'll
Okay,
have to backtrack.
okay, cool. All right, okay. My missus is calling me now, which means she wants to watch something. Okay,
TMI.
so
Yeah.
yeah, what?
The pause.
She wants a back rub.
She wants to watch something.
Yeah, she wants to watch something. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we will leave it there for tonight. We will carry on with the investigation to try and deal with this before it gets out of hand. And I will let it get out of hand, by the way. So it will sort of because I at this moment in time, because it's a big threat. It's basically the enemy pushing you back and stuff, because you're getting to that your end sort of game period now, so things are going to get slightly harder. So yep, we will do that. Hopefully we will have that done in downtime. Everything else ready. Well, said this last time, but ready for sort of some sort of siege action coming next week, if we can. Other than that, I've been Matt Geary. With me has been Conrad as Arno Jerkel.
Good night to everyone.
Mike as Michael as Tharavel Eldon.
Who's Tharavel Eldon?
We have Lecky as Brother Gadden.
It's all going to be fine.
Marcus Lance.
Lucky's brother Gavin.
Lucky's party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
not.
Forgot who he is as well.
Oh, brother. Yeah,
Hydra's
I was
Brother
reading,
Gadden.
yeah, brother. I was reading down the list there, Brother Gadden. Yeah, sorry. Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
So, yeah.
Yep. Marcus Lance.
Look your ears up, lest you have a nervous breakdown remembering all the people that have died.
Yeah. And Vic Saren Sanguine.
Today's revelation: I am not a nice person.
Night, everybody.
You are a
Bye.
civilization. You feel even worse.